What's going on, guys? My name is JoeTraff, and this is my MLB The Show 19 hitting tips. Hopefully you could bring these into MLB 20 with you as well when that game comes out in a couple months. First thing I want to do is get into my settings though, so let's get into that real quick. So my hitting interface will always be zone. I prefer this over anything else. Directional is not even an option for me. Zone just gives you so much more control and input over what you're doing with your PCI. Input type is going to be buttons. That gives you the option to use square as a power swing, circle as a contact swing. Sometimes use power swing when I'm maybe playing Battle Royale with these guys with the huge PCIs, but mostly I'm going to be using a normal swing. Analog type is flick. That doesn't pertain to us. PCI is going to be on. That is the little yellow thing that will be around your zone when you're using zone hitting. For your PCI appearance, I prefer wedge. I know some guys like to use reticle, some guys use classic. You can really use anything except for buckshot, but wedge is my preferred one. I like just having that little dot in the middle. I feel like it gives me the best view as when I'm trying to square up the ball. Hitting view is going to be strike zone. This one is the most important, I believe. It just gives you so much more pitch recognition. You can really tell if it's going to be a ball or a strike, and it gives you the best timing possible. I know some guys like to be able to see the batting stances on the players, but if you really want to take your game to the next level, strike zone is the way to go. My in-play view offense, I feel like I'm the minority with this one. I use high. The reason I use high is because I feel like on balls that are going over an outfielder's head or in the gap, you can have a much better tell if it's going to drop or not. I feel like this gives you an advantage when you're trying to advance runners and stuff like that, so that's why I use high. Alright guys, so I have some ranked seasons gameplay in the background for you as I go over my tips. So the first thing on my list is the most important by a mile. Everything else on this list is secondary to that, and that is to be patient. Yes, patience is key when it comes to being a good hitter in MLB The Show. You do not want to be chasing the low and away sliders or the high and in fastballs. So what you want to do is use the strike zone camera, and you'll really be able to identify when a pitch is going to be a ball much better. It really gives you a good view on those changeups that are going to drop or those fastballs that are too high that just pop up every single time. Being patient really gives you a big advantage because you will always get your pitch at least once in an at-bat, unless you're playing a really good pitcher, which not many people are in this game. So what you are going to do is you want to try and see about 10 to 15 pitches per inning. That is my goal when I am playing this game. It just really gives you the ability to see a ton of pitches, know your opponent tendencies, and just try to get to that bullpen as soon as you possibly can. And I know some guys in the bullpen are really overpowered, but they're not that good as either. The more you do it, the more you will be keen to lay off certain pitches. So the more that you are focusing on seeing pitches, the more likely you will be to lay off those close pitches that are on the corner. And that also, another thing, it really frustrates your opponent. If you keep laying off these pitches that are right off the strike zone, they're going to be more inclined to throw you pitches that they know are going to get over the plate, and that gives you an opportunity to just smack one right over the fence. So the second thing on my list is who you're putting in your lineup. So most of the time I will always have a power heavy lineup. Sometimes I'll have a contact speed guy in there, maybe one or two like an Ichiro or Roberto Alomar just for their defense and speed. But it's going to mostly be power, because if you are able to square up your PCI, you're going to get much better results with the power guys, obviously, instead of these lazy fly balls that you would get with the speed and contact guys on those kinds of pitches. So I'm looking at like the Mike Trouts, the Cody Bellingers, the Willie Mazes of the game. And those guys I feel like are definitely my best hitters. I honestly don't even do too well with the speed guys, so I still like to have one or two in my lineup. And if you could find a speed guy with the power, that's even better. So then you don't have to waste another spot on a good defensive speed guy. The next thing on my list is your PCI placement and what type of pitches you should be looking for. So I always like to have some sort of tension on my PCI before the pitch is coming. Usually when it's a right-handed pitcher, I'll have it in the top left quadrant of the strike zone, and when it's a left-handed pitcher, I'll have it in the top right quadrant of the strike zone. So this way I'm always kind of sitting fastball, just waiting for that fastball to turn on it. Then I'll use my PCI to track any other off-speed pitches if I recognize what's coming. So basically, I am really always sitting fastball, because if you can turn on the fastball and show your opponent that you can turn on the fastball, they'll be less likely to throw it. So then they become predictable in a way that they'll throw you more off-speed pitches, so you can start looking for those. And it's really just a mind game. If you can outsmart your opponent with your strategies at the plate, you will win a lot more games and be a much better hitter. So that brings me into what I kind of just mentioned in tracking pitches. So you want to always, I like to start my PCI where the pitcher's hand is, obviously. So from there, you're just tracking the pitch coming through the strike zone. And that also helps you be more patient, because you're tracking, and it goes off the plate. You're tracking, it goes off the plate again. Then you get that fastball, and you're able to turn on it because your PCI is already where it needs to be. And if you get an off-speed pitch, you track it just as long as you need to before you swing, and boom, it's another base hit. It's really the most important thing when it comes to making good contact, is tracking that pitch. And the only way you're going to get this is just by practice. So you can go into batting practice. You can just play some Battle Royale games to be better at it. Just play the game and just practice this whole tracking mechanism, and you will be a much better hitter as well. If you guys are liking these tips, please go down, drop a like on the video, and hit that subscribe button. This is my first ever video, and I want to keep bringing you guys this kind of content and help make you a better MLB The Show player. So yeah, go down there, hit that subscribe button. Next thing on my list is to know your opponent's tendencies. Yes, so a lot of the times when you're playing someone, they will do the same things over and over and over again. So this is something you should look out for when you're pitching as well. Make sure you're not doing the same thing, and I'll be able to touch that on my pitching tips video that's going to come out soon. So yeah, a lot of times guys will be doing the same things over and over again. They'll either start you with a fastball, they'll start you with a slider, they'll start you with something off speed every single time, and then when they have 2 strikes, they'll do the same thing. Or if they're down 3-0 because you're being patient, they'll do the same thing every time. And it might even be an off-speed pitch, because some people are like that. So if you're able to pick up on these tendencies and know what your opponent's doing, you'll be able to be much better off when you're trying to guess what's coming, and especially when you're in a hitter's count and you can afford to be sitting on one pitch. So those are all my tips for how to become a better hitter in MLB The Show. If there's anything I missed, feel free to leave a comment down below. You guys can help each other out. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at TraffTV_. I'll be able to answer any questions that you guys have, or any strategy related questions as well. I hope these tips helped you guys and they were a good starting point in taking your game to the next level. But the main thing that will always help you is just practice. Play the game. Play Battle Royale. It only costs 1,500 subs to enter. So play the game, use these tips, and just practice. You'll become a much better hitter in MLB The Show if you just use these and play the game. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again next time.